Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Hockey House. You may know us from the popular hockey website, thehockeyhouse.net. I'm Stephen Ellis.
I'm Brendan Saunders.
Stop lying, you're not.
I am? Okay. Am I Stephen Ellis?
Well, you are.
Okay, so I'm Stephen Ellis.
I'm Brendan Saunders.
Hello to the Hockey House.
Yes, we are here to talk about hockey. And
I hope
so we always end the show talking about the CHL Roundup. I wanted something not about the CHL Roundup, but it's kind of similar.
My brain's being flipped. What are you doing right now to me, Steve?
It's about prospects.
Oh, my favorite.
I want to start talking about some draft prospects in the NHL.
Okay, my favorite.
So, if you follow the NHL draft lists all year long, you probably would know that Nolan Patrick actually has been the go-to guy up until recently, though.
Yeah, Nico Hischier has been playing outstanding with the Halifax Mooseheads. He's a guy, because no comparisons have been right out, and people have been like, who do you compare him to? Who do you compare him to?
I'm not a fan of comparisons necessarily.
I know, I'm not either.
Because the one thing I think I said before is your comparison could be Jonathan Toews. All of a sudden you have a couple things that are worse than Jonathan Toews, and all of a sudden you're labeled as a bust.
No, comparisons, I never, when I hear, I play with Jonathan Toews, for all the kids out there, for everybody out there, never be the next Jonathan Toews, just be the first Brendan Saunders. Or whoever you are, be the next Brendan Saunders. But just be the first you, never be that. But no, if I was to compare him with anybody, I'd say Nicholas Backstrom, just based on he's a fast guy. He's really, really good at passing. He can see very, very well. Like, he has carrots, like, embedded in his eyes. He can he can see the ice so well. Like, literally the ice is there and he can see it. But no, he's an amazing playmaker. He's a good goal scorer. And no, if I say anybody's Nicholas Backstrom, just he can complement anybody. Maxime Forte and him have been playing very, very good at Halifax.
Okay, so Nolan Patrick's now playing. He's not injured anymore.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on him as a player?
Oh, he's really good. Yeah, he and it's actually it's too bad he played like a ton last year. He got 105 games last year between development camps, between the playoffs. He went to the Memorial Cup. He played all the regular season games. He actually played the Super Series as well. So no, he played 105 games last year. He got injured, but Brandon wasn't like a superstar team, so there was no ice time that was going to get taken away. He's in now. He's getting a lot of ice time. And if I was going to, I know some people were like, oh, I like him as a Jonathan Tavares because there's a Swede that's a good defenseman. There's him, so I compare him to Taylor Hall just on points that he's got in his career to now. He's a fast skater, which Hall was big on. But what they have to do, and what I tell everybody is, don't rush, even if it's a first overall pick. Never rush a team, because it's like, you could be in Edmonton where you get first-round pick after first-round pick and they're all not as good as they could be because they didn't develop. Or you can get first-round pick after first-round pick and they develop. So they're 10 times better than they were, and you're not like Edmonton where they're now trying to dismantle and remantle.
How about Gabe Vilardi? I know we watched him play, was it with Vaughan Kings?
We saw him in the OHL Cup when he was actually a year younger. When we saw him, he was playing with the 98s and he was on the Kingston Junior Frontenacs. Okay. But then he went to the Ottawa school. But in the Canadian Winter Games, we also saw the highlights with Fizzy and Blacker. We love that. But Gabe Vilardi, his brother Francesco Vilardi is friends with my friend Matt, who we actually had on the show last year and talking about the Sheridan Hockey team. It was great organization. But Vilardi's a big guy. He's a good guy in Windsor. He stepped into a really deep team, much as like a guy like Joseph Valeno is on St. John Sea Dogs, where you have to fight for ice time. But he is a good player.
There's one guy that a lot of people don't know about, and he's a potential top 5 pick. He's kind of been under the radar this year. But it's Michael Rasmussen from Tri-City. He's a huge centerman.
Oh, yeah. Michael Rasmussen. I was talking about him last year, and the one thing Michael Rasmussen has to do, he's a good goal scorer. If someone's looking for a goal scorer, especially for a team who's drafting a lot of passers like the Leafs, who have a lot of passers, I said it, the Leafs, he's a big guy. The one thing he has to do, plus minus, he's an awful player for two-way play. He has to really, I think he's more of a winger. He's a great goal scorer. If you have a team that complements him with assists and actual center, he's good. But the plus minus definitely, because a lot of his team is doing well. But he has to work on plus minus. But a good player, 55 points in 50 games at this point.
Okay, keep it on the centerman thing. Cody Glass, and every time I see him, I think of Cody Bass. But what do you think about him?
Excellent. I like Cody Glass. What I said, he should have made the Ivan Lincoln team. I meant it. He should have made the Ivan Lincoln team. See, I meant it. But no, Cody Glass outstanding. 71 points, 51 games at this point. I think of him. I know it's Portland. I know he's. It's kind of cliche to say he's a Ryan Johansson Jr. But whenever I see him, I say Ryan Johansson Jr. He's a guy who I see. I don't know if he's going to go in the top 10, but he is a steal. I think he's going to be one of my steals. Even if it's 10th overall, 15th overall, wherever he goes, great player.
Cool. All right, we're going to go to break. We come back. We got a lot more players to talk about. Some guys that you've heard of, some you've never heard of. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Hockey House. We are continuing with our talk about the NHL draft.
Continuity.
It is still far away. One guy that you and I both follow, and if you
I'm
obviously
touching my chin.
if you're from Mississauga, you know a lot about him. Owen Tippett. He's a guy that has been pretty good everywhere he's gone, and he's been put in a role now where he is one of the leaders. And how many goals is he at now?
He has 63 points, and I think he has at least 30 goals.
Last I checked was 35. So he's playing fantastic. 203 pounds, 6.1 inches or feet. He's pretty tall. What do you think about him?
Oh yeah, we've seen him a couple times. Now Owen Tippett, he's a good player, good offensive player. Has almost no defense. Now I know he's a good plus-minus player. Like I don't think he's going to hurt you definitely but he has almost no defense. We've seen him a couple times against London. They actually had a really big win against London, but he kind of lacks. He's like an Ovechkin. I'm not going to compare him to Ovechkin, but I'm going to say his style is a lot like Ovechkin, where he's a positional scorer, and he's going to get you goals. He's a good guy. He's another guy who, if you're looking for a compliment to your assist guys, like a lot of guys are playmakers now, he's a goal scorer. He's a goal scorer. He's a good winger. Defensively, do not draft him for defense.
Okay, talking about defenseman then, Nick Hague.
With Nick Hague, yes. So he's a big guy. Nick Hague, the same thing. I think he has a lot of good things to offer. He has now one thing I do like is we had a defenseman who we played with. He used the stick, and he uses the stick really well. He glides guys to the outside. The only problem is when he gets to the outside, he's not great in corners. I've seen him go in with the puck into a corner, and then out the puck is, hey, how did I get this puck? I just took it off of Nick Hague. And we actually saw him in the OHL Cup playing the Kitchener Junior Rangers, and he got a penalty. He was like, what for what? And that's what. But no, yeah, he needs to work on. Not the little battles, but I guess every battle he goes into in the corners, because he can use his body really well. He has long arms, so he can take the puck off people. But definitely that and a bit of speed. But I mean, he's not. I don't think he's been outclassed at all. But he does have to work on the corners.
I almost feel like he's kind of like a Robin Regeer type player from what I've seen.
Oh God, I hope not. I hate.
But
Robin Regeer.
Robin Regeer in his like prime years with Calgary.
I think he had prime years.
Yeah, before you really focused on hockey, probably.
Maybe. Oh my God.
Anyways,
prime years?
another defenseman that a lot of people are kind of interested in right now, but may not be a top 10 pick, Cal Foote. He's looked really good at under 18 action with Team Canada. What are your thoughts on him?
Yeah, no, Cal Foote is someone that I would personally like. If Detroit gets a high pick, I'm saying Detroit trade that pick to whoever has the 15th. Like if Detroit gets a top 5 pick and they say, okay, we're going to trade this for the 15th pick, and we're going to go to and get a second and third round pick where they can draft even more defensemen, which I love because Connor Timmins and Jacob Paquette and another Spokane Chief that I'm alluding to later in the show. But yeah, Cal Foote's good, 41 points, 51 games. He's hit a plus 20 now. Kelowna is starting to pick it up. They got Reed Gardner and they're starting to roll. Nick Merkley's on fire. Cal Foote I like. I think him and his brother are pretty good. I think I like the fact that they play for Canada and they're born in America, which is my favorite part. Oh yeah. But Cal Foote. I do like Cal Foote. I would like Detroit to draft Cal Foote.
How about Cale Makar, a guy who was outstanding at the World Junior Challenge? This is a guy that he got 5 points in his first game, and throughout that, like every minute after that, he was the best player. He was creating so many plays. I know you're not a huge fan of a lot of offensive defense, but this is a guy that was keeping the puck out of his zone a lot, forcing into the other team's zone, and just firing shots on the points a lot. And I felt like he's a great player, very underrated because he does play in the AJHL. He plays with Brooks, and he's a guy who could go, I don't know, 20th, 15th, somewhere around there. What are your thoughts on him?
Well, based on where Dennis Cholofsky went last year, really, we have no idea where these junior A players could go. They could literally go in the first round.
Brendan Smith.
Yes, Brendan Smith, junior A. Seriously, I wouldn't draft him in the first round. Junior A players, unless you're Kyle Turris and you're outstanding.
Or like Tyson Jost.
Yeah, well, Tyson Jost is good too.
Because Jost was a guy that should have been playing somewhere else. He was waiting to go NCAA.
But, I always like that. I always like when good players do play junior A. I'm also alluding to that later in the show. But, offensive defensemen, I'm not a big fan. That's why there is a lot of defensemen and there's a lot of variety in this draft. There is offensive, but there is defense. So you're looking for someone to complement an offensive defense, and there is defense for that.
One last thing I want to ask you about Kailer Yamamoto. I know that we've watched him for a few years, and a guy that we used to talk a lot with, Curtis Morrison, still loves him. So what are your thoughts on him?
Well, yeah, he's a shifty guy. I expect him to probably play. Well, actually, I can't really say it because Alex DeBrincat got cut by the U.S. But no, he's not the Spokane Chief I will be talking about. But he's a crafty player, 64 points already, and he's basically been the best player in Spokane the last 3 years.
He's really small. That's his biggest issue.
Yep.
And
Tyler Johnson.
And he has taken some dumb penalties, but overall, I think he's a good player. Anyways, that's all we're going to talk about the draft. We're going to break. We come back. We're talking about NHL trades. Welcome back to the Hockey House. Now, Brendan, did you watch the 12 Hours of Bathurst race?
I saw after Bathurst, and I looked at their stats for 12 hours going, their crimson yellow helmets, they could bring pride to everything. I know, yes.
So I'm a huge racing fan. Recently, there was 12 Hours of Bathurst. It's you can get Lamborghinis and Porsches and Ferraris. Really fun race, 12 hours long in Australia. The reason I bring that up is we have had some Australian references on the show
before, yes.
Yes, we've had a guest. We've had a jersey tuxedo sweater.
We've mentioned Nathan Walker a number of times.
Well, I got a new one now.
Oh, baby!
So recently, a person that my dad does business with, Nathan Ross, he used to play hockey in Australia, and he still does.
Hey,
anyways, so this is a game-worn Team Australia inline.
God.
This is awesome. This is cool. It's a lot older. I've never seen any of these. I've never actually got to see an inline jersey, sweater, whatever you want to call it.
Tuxedo thread, yeah.
Basically in person. So I thought this was really cool. So thank you, Nathan.
Throwback to like the 90s when they have the holes in them and everything. Or actually, when Joe brought his Humber college on, it had the holes in it too.
Oh yeah, it's the old
early 90s.
Tackla's jerseys used to have
Sweaters, right? Yes.
Sweater. Anyways, so let's talk about some trade. We've done that before.
We're talking about trades.
We talked a lot about Canadian teams. I want to kind of stick away from Canadian teams. So there's a team that's pretty close to Canada. You may know the name, the Detroit Red Wings.
Who?
And they've got a couple guys that are going to be unrestricted free agents coming up. And one of them is Thomas Vanek, another is Steve Ott, another is Brendan Smith. Do any of those guys get traded? And I think, you know what, Vanek's a guy you want to, like a team should push for because he's a good winger, specifically Boston could look for him. But do you think those three guys, any of them get traded or all of them get traded? What do you think?
No, I think, I think Vanek probably should get traded. I mean, I think Detroit still has a chance to make the playoffs just because the Eastern Conference is so up and down. Like, you can be in last place, and the next day you win one game and you're a point away from the playoffs. So, I mean, generally, I don't know what they should trade him, but my thought is they should trade him just because I think it's time to trade for draft picks now. I think this is the time to do it.
Finally? Wait, they're going to build for the draft for once?
I hope so, because, I mean, Ken Holland's kind of an idiot when it comes to drafting. Like, he'll draft, okay, so my first round pick is good, my 7th round pick is good. Everything in between is terrible. Hopefully I get Tyler Bertuzzi.
The first pick will be like, okay, which junior A guy do I go for now?
Let's see, Dennis Chabalovsky, or can we redraft Jeff Tambellini from 2003? Jeff Tambellini, please come up here. We want to draft you. Thank you. I'm not even playing anymore. Yeah, so, no, Ken Holland's had some quirky picks. I really don't think he's the one who picked that great team with Datsyuk, Zetterberg, Lister, and Franzen. No, I think Vanek, I don't know, he might actually, like, I mean, he could come back to Detroit, which is always the thing, like...
Does he want to, though? Or do you think he wants to go for a cup chance?
I mean...
he's never really had a long playoff run because he's played on teams like Buffalo and the Islanders.
Minnesota, he had no good times. Montreal was...
Montreal, he didn't do anything because he was injured. But
no, yeah, I mean, Vanek, I mean, he could always come back. It's just a one-year contract, and if they're going for a team like maybe even in Montreal, they trade him back to Montreal, just try to get picks. I think for Detroit, it's essential. Try to get picks. I would say Vanek.
Brandon Smith, you got to get picks for him then.
I don't know if anybody wants Brendan Smith. Brendan Smith he's pretty bad. And based on they traded Marchenko, who, I mean, you don't get a lot out of 7th round picks unless you're me. And I love 7th round picks. I mean, that's where you get your steals from. And Marchenko was an okay 7th round pick, I felt, but they traded him for more ice time for Brendan Smith. So I think they're going on the road of Brendan Smith playing a lot. Yeah.
I know you're not a fan of the Leafs defense, but you have to think that they're going to go for a guy like Jacob Trouba. Do you think he goes to the Leafs? Or do you think he goes to the Sabres? Do you think he just sticks with Winnipeg? Because you know there's kind of some bad blood there. He didn't sign a long-term deal. He's got one more year after this. And it was basically just let's get him signed to make him happy and see what his options are because he doesn't want to be there.
No, yeah, Trouba, he's, I'm kind of 50-50 on Trouba. I've seen him play really well. I've also seen him play terrible. And for the Leafs, they have a lot of prospects, and Winnipeg has a lot of prospects,
here's the thing.
too.
I think it's something like Kapanen and maybe JVR and a pick could get him because he's still a young guy. You don't want to trade a guy like Nylander. You don't want to trade a guy like Marner. You don't want to trade a guy like Matthews this is a guy that kind of supplements it all. He kind of he adds good defense and balances the team out more because the team desperately needs defense. They do have some offense to share, specifically with some of the guys that didn't make the team, like a Kapanen. You would think if Trouba is traded, Kapanen will be traded.
No, yeah, and they could trade for James Reeves. Like the pick, I would be concerned if they did get Trouba. Say they sent in Reeves, say they sent Kapanen. If they could get Nick Patan back and Trouba, I think that would be an outstanding
then you're
deal.
Kind of asking for a little notch there. I know you really want Nick Patan or closer to here.
To Brendan Leipzig, yeah, but I mean, if they can do that deal, they can swing that deal and they get Ty Ratty up here. I think the Leafs would be
good luck.
Well, I mean, he's on Carolina right now. I don't know how much confidence they have in him, but he's a great player.
Well, then maybe instead of Kapanen, you trade Leipzig, just because.
Oh God, not Leipzig, but I mean Winnipeg. That'd be a smart move. They did that.
That's what I'm saying.
I think it'd be a really smart move for them.
You get them
then
together.
Get Ty
you get them together, and he hasn't made the Leafs yet. It's been a couple of years.
Yeah, well, he's in his third year, so I mean, and he's doing really good. If this was a Detroit system, this would be his final year, and you could see him up in Detroit next year. But no, Brendan Leipzig, he's a player to watch. I know most people don't really talk about him, and he's actually never played with the Leafs yet as a regular season game. But Trouba going to the Leafs, for me, Kapanen's never really fit with the Leafs. I always forget about him
because he's part of the Kessel trade. You just forget about him because it was him and Harrington, and it's like, well. He didn't do anything.
And I mean, the Leafs have lots of forwards. So I mean, Leipzig, they have Kirby Reichel, who is started off really slow, but is starting to pick it up now. So I mean, they have forwards that were former first rounders. So I mean, Kapanen is optional trade. Kirby Reichel is their trade. I mean, Dmitry Timashov is a good player. He's not getting a lot of ice time, but he's a good player.
He's a guy I think you could trade just because, yes, he is a good player. I think he deserves more ice than he gets. He's just in a tough situation because the team's really strong.
Yeah, plus they're getting, if Adam Brooks signs, they'll get Adam Brooks, Jeremy Baracco, Martin Zirkel's coming in, so that's another 3 forwards, that's another lineup. And unless Leipzig and possibly Leipzig and Kapanen can move up, but unless they move up, they're going to have a really crowded bunch of forwards there. So I could see them making a trade, and Jacob Trouba could be on the Leafs, but I don't know. Jacob Trouba I've never really seen as a really great defenseman. He's kind of just an average guy in my mind.
Well, I'll give him a chance to really be a star.
He would play a lot. He would play definitely a lot.
Okay, so how about Anthony Duclair? He's a guy that you and I obviously really liked him. Hard to not like him when he was so good at Max Domi a couple of years ago at the World Juniors. But he's a guy that's got 9 points so far in 41 games, and he's really not playing well. What's the next step for him? Does he go to the AHL, or do you just trade him and hope that he picks it up somewhere else?
No, I'd say keep him. If that's going to
Because remember, if he gets traded, that'd be the second time he gets traded in his young career.
Yeah, he's only a year older than us, which not at all alludes to how old we are. But no, well, I mean, Max Domi's been out for a long time. Like a lot of this year, he's been out. So I mean, if they get them back together, because I mean, Duclair had a really good season last year. Like considering he had 48 points, and on the year before when he was on the Rangers, he got like nothing because they never played him. Then he went to go back. He did well. He went to the Memorial Cup, went to the World Juniors, played pretty well.
Well, Juniors was dominant.
Yeah, it was a good player.
Like that's why the trade happened. The fact is like, okay, we'll trade you Yandel, and we'll hope that maybe Duclair and Domi will play together.
But yeah, no, I think Duclair should definitely stay in Phoenix / move to Canada. But because Max Domi's been out for a long time, I think if you get them back together, he is back now. So I mean, they can play him now, and if they throw Christian Dvorak on that line, hey, how you doing? Because Christian Dvorak's a good player, but he has to go to the AHL. But no, yeah, stick with Duclair. I think he's a good player.
I do have to agree, but at the same time, it's not looking great now. Maybe you send him to the AHL.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Anyways, that's it for NHL talk. Come back to the break. We're going to talk about the CHL. Welcome back to the Hockey House. Now, Brendan.
We're back!
Oh, we are? Well, congratulations. Hope you guys like the commercials. Anyways, so the Champions Hockey League is coming to an end, which means we're going to do our Canadian Hockey League roundup.
What? This whole time I've been talking about something else, and now it's not that thing. Okay, so everybody knows it's time for me to talk really, really fast, even though last week I didn't talk really fast at all, but everyone was saying, man, I didn't even know you breathed that thing. So, okay, we're going to start.
Do you breathe?
So I'm going to start in the OHL, because we're starting the QMJHL, starting the WHS, so we're going to start in the OHL. Who is my team of the week? My team of the week is the Sioux Greyhounds. And I know I haven't talked a lot about the Sioux Greyhounds, actually, and they're a pretty good team. But no, yes, Sioux Greyhounds. The best thing I like about the Sioux Greyhounds, they haven't done the Erie London where they've traded all these players and all these picks for all these new players. They've been pretty consistent. Other than the trade for Noah Carroll from Guelph to Sault Ste. Marie, they have a lot of good players. And going into next year, even though they're losing a Bobby McIntyre and they're losing a Spears, they're losing.
But McIntyre had a great year.
Yeah, he's doing really good.
He was a good player at the Steelheads, but he's a really good player.
Yeah, really good player on Sault Ste. Marie. But they still going into next year, they still have guys like Gettinger, they still have guys like Boris Kachuk. So those Sioux Greyhounds, they're my team of the week. Okay, my QJHL team of the week. The Shakutami Sagawinkies, or Sagets if you prefer that name. Now, don't look at their plus minus because it gives me nightmares every time I go to their page. But
Wow, you need more things going on in your life. That gives you nightmares.
I know, it's like, God, geez, they're plus minus. It's like Phil Kessel's been reborn into a QMJHL team. God. Oh, no, there's Daniel Sprong right there. No, okay, yeah, so the plus minus is awful. But they're going for the win. They've made a lot of trades, getting the Kelma twins, getting Rattel. They got German Rupsoff, the Philadelphia Flyers first-round pick, which was a huge bonus for them. And they have the ultimate cracked player under pressure, Nicholas Waugh, who's not actually having a bad season, but he's terrible under pressure, as we saw in the World Juniors. But no, the Sagas are really going for it.
Didn't he score a goal in like the final game?
But the shootout, when he was like, okay, here we go. Okay, no, there goes the puck. Okay, I'm done. So he's having a good, that last shot will, Nick Waugh will have to do something impressive to change my opinion on him.
Score a big goal in that game?
I mean, missed the final goal and totally.
Anyways.
Okay. So my WHL team. My WHL team of the week is the Kelowna Rockets. So the Kelowna Rockets, I know everyone's like, well, the Kelowna Rockets are always good. Well, they actually weren't this season. They were really, really slow this season, but they're starting to pick up. We talked about Cal Foote earlier in the show. He's starting to pick up. Nick Merlis, he's on fire. He's as hot as Hansel right now.
Which is good because he was not playing well before the junior time.
He was playing a Brendan Perlini type season. Last year playing this season, but now he's playing a Brendan Perlini season this season to this season. So no, Kelowna's heating up really, really good. Okay, so I'll start in the WHL for my prospect of the week. Spokane Chief, it's not Yamamoto, it's Jared Anderson Dolan. So Jared Anderson Dolan is actually a really good player. He has 55 points in 52 games, and he's a 99, and it's underrated that these players are doing this at such a young age. They're already averaging over a point a game, which is very, very exciting considering they have 2 more years in junior, possibly 3 years if they want, but 2 more years until they can go to pro. So no, if you're looking for a good player, he's slotted to go second, third round. Jared Anderson Dolan, Spokane Chiefs. Prospect of the week for the OHL. My prospect of the week for the OHL. Okay, are you ready for this?
Sure.
Okay, are you ready?
I am.
Robertson, a former Don Mills Flyer on the Kingston Frontenacs. Kingston is a really exciting team, I think, just because they were a good team last year. It's kind of a rebuilding year this year, but he has 52 points in 50 games, which again, on a team that is kind of is a rebuilding team. He's a 99. He's a top scorer, averaging more than a point a game. Has to fix that plus minus, but everyone does in Kingston. God, geez. But no.
The Buffalo Eagles?
Oh, God.
I don't want to say there.
Geez, I think minus 100 would not be a bad thing for the Buffalo Eagles. But
they lost 28-0 to Caledonia.
80 in 4 games. They let in 80 goals. That's awful.
In 4 games?
In 4 games,
oh,
they
wow.
let 80-1. 80-1.
Jeez.
I can't believe that. But 80-1. Okay, so my QMJHL prospect of the week is actually a guy who's born in 98. He's still draft eligible. He's actually a former Georgetown Raider, so Daniel Hardy. Daniel Hardy's having a really good season. He was not drafted in the OHL. Comes to the QMJHL. 36 points in 39 games, plus 6 on a Rimouski team who's still rebuilding from their Memorial Cup run. But no, if you're looking for a good player, I think Daniel Hardy. Yes. Daniel Hardy, not Jared Anderson Dolan. Okay, now, so for my player of the week from the WHL is Tyler Coulter. This guy was in Vancouver. They bring him to their rookie camp. He is really good. This guy's solid. This guy, he was kind of a depth player for the first 2 years in his career with Brandon, but he's become their all in everything. They have Nolan Patrick, but this guy is a good player. He's like 210 pounds, 6 feet. He has 47 points, 49 games, plus 10. If you're like Vancouver, when they got him, I really like that. Okay, so my OHL player of the week, he's a guy who gets lost in the shuffle, but is another Oakville guy invited to the Vancouver camp. It's Kyle Maximovich. Kyle Maximovich, I really do like. Kyle Maximovich is a guy from Oakville, so I do like. He has 53 points in 50 games, which doesn't sound that much, but Erie, considering they have 6 forwards in front of him, is really good. And I think going into next year, he's going to get a lot of ice time. Depends on who leaves and who comes. Okay, so my QMJHL player of the week is a St. John Sea Dog. It is Matthew Joseph. He also played. He's doing fantastic. He came off the World Juniors, had hot World Juniors, and it's even hotter now. So, I mean, Matthew Joseph is
Tampa Bay prospect.
Yeah, Tampa Bay. They have some good prospects, and he's definitely, I think, the front runner for best of them right now.
Brennan, unfortunately, that's it.
But I got all of it in. Jack McBain, you're great. I wanted to mention that, too.
That's all we have for today. Don't forget to visit thehockeyhouse.net for all episodes of the TV show. And make sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter. I'm Stephen Ellis.
I'm Brendan Saunders.
Thanks for watching.